What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another stream. I'm going to be live for the next hour talking about the markets, seeing what's going on. And I've got a couple of topics that I really want to focus on. One of them is just a general market update, and then another I want to discuss base. Okay, I want to go through the best gems on base. I want to kind of do a deep dive into base, look at some of the gems, rank them in terms of preference. So if you've got any coins on base which you like, please do, get them in the comment section because we're going to be going over that today. Arrow is one, Morpho is one. You've heard me talk a lot about Mavia as well as a low cap, but we'll be getting into some other plays as well, broadening our horizons, not just looking at Arrow, Morpho, and Mavia, right? Because there's a few decent gems on base, and I think we're going to get a very big move up with some of those gems on base. But as always, my top altcoins are remaining the same, not really changing anything as of now. Maybe some of these X potentials we could potentially lower a little bit. Some of these coins have pumped since I put these X potentials. So, something like Say maybe is more of a 3 to 10x now. Maybe virtuals you could say is more like a 3 to a 12x maybe. So some of these coins for sure have pumped, and when something pumps a lot, you probably want to lower your expectations, right? But with that said, the market's having a bit of a move down here, and we were actually on a big voice chat last night in the Discord saying that we think there's a solid chance Bitcoin could come back down to sweep this kind of 111.8, 111.9K level. I said that in the call. I said we need like a clean sweep, and that's not what we did. We came down almost to it, but the buys started stepping in. And the problem is, right, when you're in this situation with Bitcoin, is you leave people uncertain when you don't actually hit the level. When you come close to the level, there's still a good amount of bears saying we're going to come down and hit that level, right? And that's what we did. We came down, we came close to it, then we got a bounce. But as I said, we didn't actually come down to hit that level. We just came down close. So there's still going to be a lot of people who are saying, look, I'm not prepared to buy unless we hit that level for confirmation. I'm not prepared to buy until we hit that level. And those people will stay sidelined, and that will mean there's not as much buying pressure coming into the markets. So the sellers outweigh the buyers, and we probably go down back to that level, and we'll hit it cleanly next time, okay? That level is exactly around 111.8K. We're at 112.9 right now. So I think it's very probable, very feasible we come down to this level. Now, we were on a call last night in the Discord, by the way. If you're not in my Discord group, make sure you are, because it's the most active Discord group in the world. It's unbelievable the value that you get in there. We were on a call last night. There's about 100 people in the call, as always, very active calls. And we were going over some trades, right? Because I'm mostly a long-term investor, I would say. But I still think there's money to be made on some of the trades, right, in the middle. So we were on the call and we were looking at Bitcoin, and we all kind of came to the belief that it's probably likely that we come back down to this level and hit it cleanly and then get a bounce. And a few of the guys in the call actually opened up some shorts on Bitcoin on the call on Blowfin, right? So if you haven't got Blowfin already, make sure you get it, sign up, use my link down below. There is a bonus that you get for free, some free money if you sign up using my link. If you don't use my link, you won't get the money. But this is the exchange I'm using, and I'm thinking there's some good opportunities, right, on the horizon in terms of shorting Bitcoin. Not yet. Okay, not yet. I think we will probably come down to 111.8, but I mean more macro shorts. I mean a short swing trade where you put in the short and you leave it for a few months, potentially, or many weeks. We're not there yet, but I strongly believe if Bitcoin hits the level that I'm targeting, which I think it will, 127 to 131, there's probably some good short opportunities if we hit that level. There's probably some good resistance that we're gonna hit. But right now, stochastic RSI is super low. You know, Bitcoin looks like it's ready for a bounce. But hopefully everyone's doing great. Yeah, we had the jobless claims come in. Adds more fuel to the fire. Yeah, that in theory should increase the chance of a rate cut because there's a weak labor report. Let's see if it's changed anything in the last 6 hours or so. No, actually. As of now, the odds of a rate cut just kind of remains. Wow, it's come down even further since yesterday. So the odds for a rate cut currently are sat around 64% chance of a rate cut. We were at one point where it was like almost a guarantee, right? It was like 90%. So those odds are coming down now, which is not great. Not great. Not great to see those odds drop. But guys, hit the likes on the stream. I'm going to get through your comments. Also, I was thinking, to try and push out more videos on the channel, I might as well record my videos while I'm live, if that makes sense. So while I'm doing a live stream, I can just hit the record button seamlessly and do a video. So my plan is on this stream is to do a market update run through, and then also while I'm doing this stream, look for some gems on base with you guys, get your thoughts as well, and then compile a video going through them. Why would you open up a short on Bitcoin if we're in a bull run, goes against the wave? Yeah, because I believe we will not be in a bull run once we hit that level. I believe that will be the top. 127 to 131, I believe will be the top. So, and even if it's not the top, we will probably see a sizable drawdown from that level. Bitcoin usually, every few months has a 30% correction or so. And it hasn't done one of those for a while. So it is overdue a relatively large correction. So even if the 130K isn't the cycle top, it's still going to be met with a sizable correction, most likely. Rate cut odds down after the FOMC minutes. Yeah, that's what brought the rate cut odds down. Exactly. Yeah, the FOMC minutes were not bullish. They were not bullish. I was reading them, and essentially the Fed are more worried about the labor market. I mean, more worried about inflation than they are the labor market, which obviously is indicative of less cuts. So maybe we just get one rate cut all year, and if we get that, I can't really see a situation of Q4 being bullish. So I'll be ready to start opening up some of those shorts on Blowfin and make a ton of money on the way down, because I've told you before, and I'll tell you again, I make more money in crypto when the market dumps because I short things, and I'm tremendously good at shorting things. I've got a bulletproof track record when it comes to shorting. Never lost a single short. How's it going, Joey? Hello, this bull run is manipulated from Powell and, of course, Trump. I think that at 2026, after Powell going, we'll see manipulated bull run again. You see, this is the problem, man. Like, everyone falls into this trap. And look, you might be right this one time, but everyone's been saying the same thing since I've been in crypto. This time is different. We're going to have an extended super cycle. How many times have people said that? Yeah, I remember people saying that in 2017. They got wrecked. I remember people saying that in 2021. They got completely wrecked. Most likely in 2026, most cryptos will dump more than 90%. All right? Most likely. So that's the risk. Now let's look at the reward. The reward is we potentially go a bit higher. Maybe instead of Bitcoin going to 130K, we go to 150. That's the reward factor. Maybe we just go a bit higher. It's not worth the risk holding into 2026. It is not worth the risk. Crypto is all about probabilities. It's about risk and reward. It is absolutely not worth the risk of riding your whole portfolio down 90%, which is the most likely scenario because that's what's happened every single post-halving year. It's not worth the risk. The probabilities are stacked against you, and this game is about probabilities. Instead of always thinking you know best and you can time the market fully, put your faith in mathematics, in probabilities, and you will make money if you do that. Bundle membership. Yes, absolutely. Shout out to all the bundle members. Yeah, Captain More Data will wait for more data, yeah. But no, I think you'll cut in September, but you'll be very lucky if you get a cut after that. That's kind of my stance on the matter. I think he will cut in September, but you'll be really lucky if you get another cut. Because that they're already laying the they're already kind of laying the groundworks now to put off cuts for the rest of the year by blaming tariffs and saying there's a huge inflation impact from tariffs and it's lagging. They keep saying we're not seeing the effects yet, but we will see them in the future. It's like, how far into the future are you expecting to see the results? Are we expecting to see the uptick in inflation in 2026? Because we have seen it in PPI, but we haven't seen it in CPI. So maybe eventually we'll see an uptick in inflation and then they'll just blame that on the tariffs. But so far, we haven't seen a sizable uptick in inflation from the tariffs yet. That's all Powell utters is the inflationary effect of tariffs. May not cut at all. It's possible. It's possible. But that would just be even more disastrous for growth. Like, I fail to see how you'd have a massive bull market with really stagnant growth and stagflation, essentially. Okay, so I'm going to do the market update here for you guys who are watching. So let's just see what we've got going on. Bitcoin dipping a bit. ETH looking all right, actually. Dominance is looking fine. However, on the 2-week, look how low the stochastics are on dominance. I mean, I don't normally look at the stochastics too much, but it is interesting. But then again, let's see here. Last bull market, the stochastics were flashing low. And we still kept on going down a bit further. So maybe what's going to happen is I know it doesn't sound great, but maybe dominance just comes down to 56%. My main target, again, is 47 to 52. That is my floor target on dominance. But there is a chance that it just comes down to 56%, and that is your alt season. Like, your tamed alt season, whatever you want to call it. But there is a chance that, like, the alt season this time is way, way smaller than last time. And that is your alt season, the 56% dominance. Like, it's possible. Super possible. Crypto Gain said bull market 2027. Did he say that? $2027, 2025. Yeah, so 2025 bull market, 2026 bear market, 2027 would be the bull market. So that is logical thinking to say that. But depends is he saying the bull market's gonna extend into 2027 and continue into 2027? In which case, I strongly disagree with that. Or is he saying 2027 will be a new bull market? If he's saying 2027 is a new bull market, then that makes sense, right? That'll be the start of a new bull market to the upside. But if he's saying the bull market's going to extend into 2027, I mean, I strongly disagree with that. If Powell says only one rate cut is coming this year, do you still think the market will surge till the event, or market won't cut? You mean on Friday, right? The Jackson Hole event? I don't think Powell's going to be that explicit anyway. He never is. He always, keeps his cards close to his chest. So I don't think Powell is going to explicitly state there's only going to be one rate cut. You can read between the lines and maybe get that from what he's saying, but I don't think he's going to explicitly say, yeah, we're only going to do one rate cut all year. He could imply that. He could implicitly state it, but I don't think he's going to make it clear. But anyway, I'm going to do the market update here. We're going to go through some things, and then we'll look into some base gems. All right. So let me just pull up the jobs market. Jobless claims information. All right. Archie, please continue with the YouTube lives and market updates, even during the bear market. I will, don't worry. I'll be continuing it. This is a long-term thing, guys. Long-term. I want to try and get to 1 million subs at some point. It'll take a while, but that is the goal. That is the goal. All right. Bitcoin has had consecutive days in the red, yet the altcoin market seems to be holding up pretty well. Ethereum's up 1.6% today. Bitcoin's down today. And if we actually go and look at Bitcoin dominance, it is still in a downtrend. Okay, it's still in a downtrend. I called the top on Bitcoin dominance up here around 66%. And since then, we've been in a sustained downtrend and we've actually lost the golden pocket. The question is, where is dominance going to go in the coming weeks? Is this rate cut already priced in now in September? Or are markets now actually pricing in no rate cut in September? I'm going to discuss all of that today. So right now, if we check poly markets, you can see the odds of a rate cut in September are currently somewhere around 60 to 65%. That's changed significantly. At one point, we were looking at odds of 80 or 90% of a rate cut in September, basically a guarantee. Now, it seems like the odds are almost 50-50 at this point, which has completely changed, right? The thing's just completely changed in terms of the odds. So you got to ask, why is that? Well, the reason is because of the US initial jobless claims coming in at 235,000 with a 225,000 estimate. Now, the whole point around rate cuts all comes to do with two things. The dual mandate of the Fed, okay? Unemployment and inflation. Those are the two things that the Fed are concerned about. The question is, which side of the paradigm are they going to side with, right? Are they going to side with inflation or are they going to side with unemployment? And Powell is actually speaking on Friday at the Jackson Hole event. And I believe he's going to really, really stress his inflationary concerns. He's going to talk about the PPI. He's going to say how it went up higher than expected, how that's due to the tariffs and how there's a lagging effect and we still don't know the impacts, blah, blah, blah. That's all he's going to do. He's not really going to talk too much about the labor market, because if he's aware of the labor market, he should be cutting. He should be bringing rates down because the labor market is weakening. We had weak labor market data a few weeks ago. We've just got weak labor market data today. So if Powell's paying attention to the labor market and that's the side that he's concerned about, he'd be making a move now, which he isn't. And well, he hasn't done so yet, right? He might cut in September. It's 50-50 essentially, but he hasn't cut yet. And if he was paying attention to the labor market, he would have done so. So labor market could be falling off a cliff. Inflation is above target. You're in a stagflationary period, essentially, with also slow growth. So Powell has to cut, in my opinion. Like, if he doesn't cut, the market's just going to slow down. You're not going to see major moves. So he has to cut to save the labor market and to save the stock market in general from falling off a cliff. So 37% chance of no cut now. That is increasing. We need to keep our eyes on that as we come closer into September. And as I said, the Jackson Hole event, the speech from Powell is going to be very telling. And I'd expect these odds to change up a lot based off what he says. If we look at Bitcoin here, you can see that it didn't quite hit the key level of support. We have massive support around 111.8K. You can see that is where we made the previous all-time high back in May when we were pumping in May, if you remember. And then we used that level perfectly as support. We tagged it, and then we got another bounce to a slight higher high. You could say a double top, just around 124K. Now we've come back down, but we haven't quite hit that level yet. We almost hit it, but we haven't exactly hit it. And the problem when you don't exactly hit a level like this is you get a lot of people who are on the sidelines saying, it's too much of a risk to buy right now. I need to see whether we're going to come back down and hit support and then bounce. So it's still a bit of indecision in terms of investors. So I would say most likely, more likely than not, Bitcoin will come down and it will exactly tag this level. And then maybe we get a bounce. If it doesn't bounce from that level, it is starting to get structurally a little bit concerning for Bitcoin. We then must, and I mean must, bounce from 109K, because that is the next key level. That is, the previous all-time high again. And we know Bitcoin loves to use previous all-time highs as support. It loves to do that. It does it all the time. Think about the 74K tariff crash support. When Bitcoin came down to 74K, that was not a random level. That was the level of the previous all-time high back in March, back in April time, whenever it was. So that is what Bitcoin loves to do. And we've got two levels below us, which Bitcoin could, in theory, use as support. We've got the one that we used already, make a double bottom. That would be nice, which we haven't quite hit yet, but it's close. And then we've got the 109K. If we fail both of those, I start to get very concerned from a structural point of view. I start to think maybe we're entering a bear market. So we need to bounce from those levels. I can't stress that enough, because then we start looking at the Gaussian channel, which I think right now is somewhere around the low hundreds. If we break down below the Gaussian channel, you're in a bear market. So hopefully all remains good. I am confident that it will. If you look at the RSI, we're pretty oversold. I expect us to gather some momentum and get a bounce up to this fib level for the final, blow off top move of the bull market between 127 and 131K. I think we will do that. If you look at total 3 right now, we're currently below resistance. There's major resistance at all-time highs. We double top there, triple top there, quadruple top there, essentially. I still believe total 3 has another move up, because if we look at dominance, altcoins do look fairly strong. If we look at other kind of alt to Bitcoin pairs, they also look relatively strong. Ethereum to Bitcoin looks strong. Another one which looks really strong, by the way, to Bitcoin was Sol to Bitcoin. Look at that. Solana to Bitcoin, golden pocket. Now we're getting a bit of a bounce. So I'm quite impressed with a lot of these altcoin Bitcoin charts, especially Sol Bitcoin, by the way. That one looks great. Good chance of a bounce here. And ETH Bitcoin also looks good. So I am expecting a bit of sustained outperformance here with altcoins compared to Bitcoin. I don't think there's long left of the Bitcoin bull market, whereas I think there's a decent amount left of the altcoin bull market. My personal target on total 3 remains around that 1.47, 1.5 trillion dollar mark, which is the 1.618 from this move, essentially, from the tariff crash and then this leg up, right? So that's my target. Make sure you guys check out the VIP group link down below if you want to see my real-time buy and sell alerts, if you want to see the coins which I'm exactly buying, the altcoins. I've got a very good track record when it comes to altcoins. I also have a Discord group which is active 24/7. There's people in here sharing gems, sharing trades. You can see a short position here, just one. Ever so slightly, though, 2%, nothing special. Maybe next time we can 10x those gains and get 20%. But, I'm always in here. I'm answering questions. I'm helping people out. And I'm doing voice chats as well. You can see my real-time buy and sell alerts. And if you want a place to trade, get on Blowfin. Use my link down below and you'll get a sign-up bonus. All the information is linked in the description. Thank you for watching. Goodbye. Okay, so that was the video. We'll continue on with the live stream. Okay, so I want to find some gems on base. So that's a little insider there on how I film my videos. I just thought I can do it while I'm live, right? I want to be optimally productive. I can film a video while I'm streaming. Like, there's no reason why I can't do that. And you guys get the video live in real time, so you get the value. You get the value of the video live. And it just means I can be more productive with my time, because I don't want to just keep reiterating the same stuff. You know what I mean? So, guys, get your questions in, get your gems in. I want to discuss base. And Bitcoin right now is coming down to that target that I mentioned, around 111. So, gems on base. This is my current list. I'm going to go through a few that you guys mentioned. And if you have any questions about my current list, then let me know. And then we'll make a video on my favorite gems on base, and we'll rank them. Resistance Dog. That's not on base. That's on Ton Chain, right? Massa on base. $16 million market cap one. It's on Ethereum. Is it on base as well? Yep. So what is this? Lending and borrowing? No, data. Leading real data network for fair AI. AI agent and application developers can build anything anywhere with the world's data. Okay. Let's check the chart. Guys, get your base gems in on the chat. Right, so the chart doesn't look the greatest. It looks pretty bleak, got to be honest. Huge sell-off. Stochastics are super high on the 4-hour. Is it a 786 that we just come down to? Yeah. You see, guys, like, I don't even need to put the fibs on. I don't even need to put the fibs on. Like, I use the fibs so frequently, and I have done for so many years now. I don't even need to apply them. I just know where the 786 on the golden pocket is. I could just tell, yeah, that is the 786. Yeah, so it just doesn't look great. It looks like it's probably going to come down and hit these range lows, maybe double bottom, triple bottom. But it looks all right, but it's not great. Toshi is one I like. Yeah, Toshi is one I like. You're liking Keycat and Miggles. Yeah, I think the memes on base will do well. Toshi looks good. There's a nice structure to this chart. Bottomed out stochastics on the daily. Nice kind of higher low structure here. Structurally, guys, this is a really nice chart. Structurally speaking, I don't hold any Toshi, but I'm strongly considering getting a bag actually if it hits. I mean, it's at a nice level now, but you know, I don't like buying something on the pump. But honestly, Toshi's got a really nice looking chart. Really nice. Like, this thing looks ready to seriously bounce. Toshi has good listings as well, I'm pretty sure. I remember correctly. 300 mil market cap. Up 6% today. It's on Coinbase, so all the normies are going to buy it. It's like the mascot coin for base, isn't it? Alongside Brett. Thing is, the listings for Toshi are better than Brett, but Brett has a higher market cap. Surely Brett has to get on Coinbase. Like, what are they waiting for? I don't understand. 500 mil market cap essentially for Brett. Even Brett is a good buy now. You know, like, look at that chart. It's down a ton. So Brett and Toshi would be like the best memes, obviously, on base. There's some other ones. There's some smaller cap plays like Miggles. See, Brett is on... It's on Coinbase Futures, right? It's just not on the main version, the spot version. So Brett came down to a local golden pocket, got a bit of a bounce. Now it's testing the 0.5 level to put in a higher low. Bottomed out stochastics on the daily. Just this thing hasn't bounced, you know, like neither's Pepe. That whole kind of Matt Fury boys club stuff, it just hasn't kicked on as well as some people would have hoped. Hasn't done as well as people would have thought. Yeah, Bitcoin's still just stalling out a bit here. I think it will come down to this level, and then hopefully we get a nice influx of liquidity, influx of sideline capital. It also depends how the QQQ does, because right now the stock market is slacking a bit. It's had consecutive daily red closes. But yeah, these are currently my best gems on base. We've got Arrow for a high cap. We've got Morpho for a mid cap. And then Mavia for a micro cap. Those are my base plays. Let me know in the chat, what is your favorite high cap on base, mid cap on base, and then micro cap? And I'll go through some of the comments, see what you guys are saying. List each one. So high cap, mid cap, micro cap. Micro cap, below 100 million market cap. Mid cap, below 500 million, below 600 million, something like that, roughly. And then high cap, like anything above like 700 million. Speaking of the mid cap, Morpho looks solid right now. I feel sorry for people who miss my Morpho alerts down at $1, because my God, this thing's exploded now. It's almost a high cap, 700 million market cap. I got into this thing half the price. Don't you just love seeing your money double easily? Don't you just love that feeling? Got such a good win rate with these mid caps. Arrow, Morpho, Say. I've called so many of them perfectly. Hey Archie, I'm a VIP. Shout out to you. Appreciate you being a VIP. What are my thoughts on Kita? Kita's decent. Just the listings are pretty bad. But, you know, everyone assures me it will get listings, but it's kind of like the same thing with Casper. You know, everyone promises, but we haven't seen them yet. Double top played out there, so it does respect the structural levels. Kind of a double top. If you discard the wicks, then it's a double top. 382 is getting hit now. Low stochastics. You know, it looks to me like, obviously, if Bitcoin turns around here, this could be a bottom. But if Bitcoin starts stalling even more and maybe goes to 109, then Kita's probably going to drop to the golden pocket, which is around 84. Someone asked me about Kita actually, Nat, in the Discord call the other day, and I said to her that it's not a bad buy right now, but you know, it's still pretty high. I would still expect it to maybe come down a bit lower. High cap, Arrow, mid cap, Toshi, low cap, Mavia. Good list. So you've got Toshi over Morpho as your mid cap. Not bad. Prefer Morpho over Toshi, but both are good. Toshi for the mid cap, but you agree with the others maybe? Alien base, Brett, base Pepe. High cap, no opinion. So you're not even going to add Arrow as a high cap. Mid cap Toshi, low cap Miggles. Yeah, Miggles is good. Base is going to do so well because think about it, right? Ethereum's been on a nice run. Everyone's going to be looking for Ethereum gems, and all the good gems on Ethereum are all on base. And look at that. I mean, as a chain, base is 6th in all of crypto in terms of the chain metrics. Yeah, so we're continuing down here, guys. Continuing down. I'm expecting 111.8 to get hit. I really am, or thereabouts. We didn't come low enough here with this dump we had previously. So this move here was kind of just manipulation to trick people, a bull trap. And now we're coming down probably to test these lows. Check Katana Inu. I don't buy coins of Inu in the name. That whole narrative is 2021 stuff. How are you doing? I'm doing great, thank you. Back in Dubai, back grinding 24/7 again. So I'm doing great, actually. Appreciate you asking. So we've got to get a list together for base. So we've got Arrow, Morpho, Zora, Mavia, Toshi, Brett. Does anyone disagree with any of these in the chat? What would you change? How many have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So top 6. I feel like 6 somewhat of an awkward number. I feel like 7's a better number than 6 when you're making a video. Like top 6 gems, top 7 gems. 7 always sounds better. When we'll say pump? When it breaks out. Is Miggles a good buy? Almost. It's getting close. But honestly, there's a lot of M patterns forming with these charts, guys. A lot of charts that they're showing these M patterns, you know, that I'm not a big fan of because they do play out quite often. They're not a guarantee to play out. They're not a guarantee to play out, but we've seen them play out on the bigger time frames. We've seen them play out on the big time frames so many times. How many times have you guys seen that play out? Like, look at Bitcoin on the bigger time frame. Where was it? We had like a perfect M pattern somewhere. You know, they're not always exact, but they play out pretty often. Good morning. How's it going? Yeah, a lot of coins are forming M patterns right now. Is Say doing it? Almost. A lot of them either put in a higher high here or a slight lower high. But a lot of the charts, they just look like this, you know? And I don't think it will play out to the downside personally. Like I don't think it will. But like a lot of them have a similar looking chart. Not Casper though. Casper doesn't. Casper's is way lower. Sui has one clear as day. Foreman. Clear as day. So hopefully these things don't play out. You know, you always, as a trader, as an investor, you've always got to see like the opposite side. You've got to try to, you know, put your mind in like a bear's mind and, you know, think what are they thinking right now. They're probably seeing that and thinking, yeah, we're probably going to come back down and retest these lows. I don't think it will happen. Personally, I don't. But you've always got to be open to possibilities. And someone asked about Say, when's it going to break out? It will break out when it breaks above this line. It's that simple. Like we take it level by level. Right now, just waiting around for whatever reason. Once it breaks above this line, we're going to $1 or minimum 50 cents on that move. All right. Anyway, we're going to make this video on base. So let's get these gems up on the screen. We'll make this video. So number one would be Arrow. All right. So this is just in Hammock. With data now, wouldn't see case for September cut. Interesting. This is why this Discord group's so good, because we get these real-time updates from people. We need like a skull emoji. If you're watching and you're in the Discord, drop a message. Drop a message in the VIP. I want to see how many VIPs are watching right now. Smash up the likes. Absolutely, Bren. Let's get those likes up. Helps out a ton with the channel. Is it a good time to buy memes? Yes, I believe it is. But just be careful, right? Maybe set some stop losses psychologically, like, or just set one manually, you know, but make sure you're willing to sell if the market turns around and you're not going to bag hold. So Arrow would be one. Morpho is another obvious play. What else have we got? Close down loads of these tabs. Make sure you guys are signing up to the Blowfin link as well down below. VIP here. Appreciate it. Crypto Knight. Ben Shaw says, what's your thoughts on Moonwell and Alien Base? I like Moonwell. Solid listings. The thing with Moonwell, I just prefer Morpho. Morpho is like directly integrated within base. I'm not bullish on Moonbeam or Moonriver. Not bullish on the Polkadot ecosystem and the parachains and all of that. You're a VIP, but you can't be on Discord. No problem. You're at work. Okay. After work, I'll look forward to seeing you in the Discord chats. And then what was the other one? Alien Base? 16 mil market cap. Just the chart looks weak. Chart looks quite weak. Is this a DEX on base? Like, why would you use this over Aerodrome? You know what I mean? Like, I need to know the reason. But they could do well. They don't look like scams. They don't look like scams, but there's just two better projects which I hold. One is Morpho, one is Arrow. All right, we got Brett. We got Arrow, we got Morpho, we got Brett, Toshi. And then we've got Mavia. Ethereum's daily RSI is super bottomed out, stochastic. Yeah, the Ethereum chart looks good. Ethereum chart looks good. Got to be honest on that front. What are your thoughts on not a big bear market, but a tiny bear market? It's possible. Like, anything's possible. We just take things level by level. Future VIP here. Good stuff. Yeah, use the code ETH at checkout if you're wanting to join. Get in the Discord. Join the Alpha Hub, the place where all the information is in crypto. Use the code Ethereum without the Ethereum part, just ETH. Don't use Ethereum. It won't work. ETH, the ticker. You'll save 25% off, I think, or 20%. You can see when you use it. All right, I'm going to make this video. So let's sort out these tabs. So we got Arrow, Morpho. Oh, Zora. I forgot about Zora. I didn't mention Zora really, but this is another kind of differential play on base. Like, not a lot of people are talking about the sector it's in. Yeah, Virtuals is on base. Forgot about that. Thanks for reminding me. Forgot completely about Virtuals. I'm up massive on Virtuals right now. Well, I already took big profits, but I'm still up big. I got into Virtuals at 50 cents. I sold a ton of my Virtuals when it was pumping to $2.40, $2.50. I was selling a ton of it then. Yeah, so we got 8 coins. That's a good amount. So I'll separate it into memes. I'll separate it into utility and then memes. So utility, we've got Arrow, Morpho, Zora, I guess. Gaming, Mavia, memes. We have Toshi, Brett, and then we have. Let's just put Mavia into utility. I mean, gaming's kind of utility, right? Man, why can't I not type? This keyboard's different. Virtuals, Mavia. For Mavia, I'm just going to put maybe, because it's not really utility. It's more of a hype coin. So they would be my my picks on base. What about Link? Yeah, Link's good. It's a good Ethereum play. It's a bit too safe for me. I like a bit more speculation in my plays. All right, let's film this video. This is how you be productive, you know? You get a live stream out, you talk to the chat, and you film 2 videos while you're doing a live stream. No one can match this level of productivity. Right. Let's sort these in terms of like risk level, I guess. All right, filming starting in approximately 5 seconds. With Ethereum pumping almost to all-time highs and it now finding support at a very crucial level, I think it's time to discuss the best beta plays on Ethereum, which I personally believe are all on the base chain. At the end of the day, Ethereum's not really going to scale and function without base being its layer 2 to help scale it. And if you look at all the different chains, if you look at the metrics, base is essentially ranking as a top crypto chain on many of the metrics. In terms of protocols, it's got 691 protocols, comparing to something, you know, like Solana, even more than Solana it has. Solana has 344, Base has 691. And if you look at the active addresses, there's over 1 million active addresses, almost on the level of something like BNB, which has just over 2 million. So it has a very high amount of on-chain activity, and obviously it ties into the Ethereum narrative. So today we're going to discuss the very best plays to buy on base to make a ton of money in the next few weeks and months. So we're going to start from the highest to the lowest. So we're going to start off with the more safe plays. And then if you stay to the end, you're going to get more of the degen plays, more of the smaller low caps. So the most obvious play is Aerodrome, a coin which I called as low as 39 cents in my VIP group, which you can join hitting the link down below. It's currently at around $1.32 with a market cap just above $1 billion. Now, PancakeSwap last bull run went to a market cap, I believe, was it around 10 billion, something like that? And PancakeSwap, if you don't know, is the DEX for BNB. Oh, it went to 6 billion. Okay. Just a bit below 10 billion. So I would argue Aerodrome probably still has maybe a 3 to 6x left in the tank from here. I think it could match the BNB DEX all-time high of PancakeSwap. And the main reason why I believe Aero will do better than some people think is because of the fact that Base itself doesn't have a token. The fact Base doesn't have a token means people are going to over speculate on the beta plays on Base, right? Because they can't gain exposure to Base itself through its native token. So what are they going to do? They're going to buy the most obvious way of betting on Base, which is through the Aerodrome token. Could you imagine if Ethereum didn't have a token, how much people would buy Uniswap, for example? If Ethereum didn't have a token, it wouldn't really work, right? But you get what I'm saying. If you take away the native token, there's a lot more room to speculate on some of the beta plays. And Arrow is the most obvious one. It had this clear support down here. And that's why I was buying, because it was hitting support. And when a solid blue chip coin hits support, it's a good lesson to buy it from now on, okay, whenever you see it happen again. So Aerodrome is a great one. It's integrated within Coinbase, and people are saying they're going to be bringing Solana stuff into their decks. So it's going to be a Base and Solana decks, people are saying now, based off one of their recent X posts. The next one would be Morpho, which is my favorite borrowing and lending play on Base. It's also directly integrated within Coinbase. So if you want to borrow money through Coinbase, you go through Morpho. And that's incredible, right? Because Coinbase is like the new bank of the world. It's the Web3 bank. And Morpho is the infrastructure layer for that bank, for the borrowing and lending. So at a 750 million market cap, I'm actually going to argue Morpho is incredibly undervalued. It's the second biggest borrowing and lending coin in terms of FDV. And I believe it has the potential to actually get to Arve's market cap from last bull run, which is multiple X's from here. So Morpho is one I would go for. It's on Coinbase. I called this one around $1. So we're up 2X on Morpho. Noticing a bit of a trend here. All these coins I'm up on because we're calling them super early. The next one is the AI play. That'll be virtuals. I'm up on virtuals as well. I was buying that one at 50 cents. It's got all these different AI agents on it. It's on Binance. And it's a hype coin. I mean, it's a utility coin, but it's also a hype coin. And that's the great thing about virtuals is it blends hype and utility together. Some coins are just pure utility, something like Morpho. There's not a great deal of hype around borrowing and lending. But something like virtuals with AI and with all the agents they've got, the community stuff, they have a great blend of hype and utility. So I think there's a good chance Morpho could put in a new all-time high this bull run and potentially do somewhere between, a 3 to a 10x from here. And like I said, we were buying at 50 cents there or thereabouts. It ran all the way up here. I was actually up 5x on my money, and I took a ton of profits here. So thing in my group, I'm actually taking profits on these coins. I'm not just riding them up forever and diamond handing like some people say. I take profits along the way, and that's a key thing that you should take note of. Now, for memes, we've obviously got Brett. The whole boys club narrative, the Pepe stuff, it has died down a lot, but I do expect it to come back once retail start getting into memes again. And once that risk on sentiment comes, which I expect, especially with the fact that Ethereum just made a big move. Now it's calming down a little bit. I expect it to continue up shortly. So the risk will come back. Brett is the obvious play on Base. Only thing is it doesn't have a Coinbase listing. So there's a little bit of concern around that. The fact that it doesn't have a Coinbase listing and it's on Base. Why is that? If you have a reason behind that, let me know in the comments. But Brett remains a strong community coin. And if it was going to die, it would have died already. The fact it survived big drawdowns in the market, especially with memes, shows how strong the community behind Brett is and the fact that it's going to stay around. And if Pepe runs again, you've got a great beta play to Pepe with Brett on the hottest chain right now, which is Base. Then we've got Toshi, and Toshi has a really nice looking chart right now. Let me just pull it up currently on the screen. I haven't pulled up every chart on this video, but Toshi especially, I want to pull up because if you look at Toshi on the daily, it's a beautiful chart. Like it just keeps on putting in higher lows and it's like making a move up, coming down, forming a base, making a move up, coming down, forming a base. Stochastics are low on the daily. Toshi looks ready to bounce really hard. And the listings for Toshi are better than Brett. So you've got Coinbase, you've got Binance Alpha, you got Binance US. So I think Toshi is quite undervalued here for a meme coin. It's really, really solid. I could see it going over $1 billion in the next run. Now we've got Zora. This is a bit of a differential play because it's in a sector which people aren't talking about much, but which was very hot last bull run. And that's the Web3 kind of social media thing. Okay. There's not that many projects in the sector that are hot right now, but Zora is one of them. You can see the chart. It's been making a big, big move up. And I want to pull up the Zora chart as well on this video because it just keeps on making parabolic moves to the upside. And you can see I was targeting the golden pocket here, but it didn't even come down to it because of how strong it's looking right now. So, if you take a local fib on Zora, you can see it's actually in a local golden pocket as of right now, as of the time I'm recording this video. If you take a look at the daily stochastic RSI, it's also really, really low on the daily. So there's some signs that if Bitcoin turns around here, Zora is going to have a nice bounce. But if it doesn't, then I'd be looking at the macro golden pocket, which we can't get the exact level here, but it's somewhere around kind of the high 50s and the low 60s. So that's kind of what I'm looking at on Zora. I do want to get a position in it. It's in that Web3 social media narrative. It's kind of combining NFTs and social media together in a way. So you have an image. Think of it like Instagram. If you have an image, you can then sell ownership of that image to people who use Instagram. So you're basically NFTifying, if that's even a word, these images. So if something goes viral, you can make a ton of money off it. And other people can make a ton of money off it by speculating on that image itself. So if it's an art picture, if it's just a funny picture, whatever it is, people can speculate on that and make a ton of money by doing so. And the chart to me signifies a coin which is not dying out. It kind of reminds me of virtuals when virtuals started running. So another great coin on base. And you're noticing a lot of these new coins, a lot of these coins that are coming to the markets, that are fresh, that are new, they're performing really well and they're on base. That's the main chain that they're deciding to go on. And Zora actually raised a lot of money from Coinbase. Coinbase actually invested into the private sale for Zora, Coinbase Ventures. So it's backed by clear winners as well. All right, then we get to the most degen play of all, which is Heroes of Mavia. This is an Ethereum and base gaming microcap. It's a game just like Clash of Clans. Now, the all-time chart looks terrible. I've got to be honest. Like when you zoom out on it, doesn't look good. But when you zoom in to the short-term chart on the daily, it actually doesn't look too bad. It's using a clear level of support here. We've got bottomed out daily stochastic RSIs. I expect it to bounce from this level, from this golden pocket, or it was a golden pocket. I don't think it is anymore because of this crazy wick we had. I don't know if that was a short squeeze or some big whale bought. I don't know what the hell that wick was, but sometimes it happens with low caps. You get these crazy wicks. Either way, it's using the 786 or it's using a golden pocket, depending on which, if you count that wick. I'm going to count it because it's still price action nevertheless. And you can see we're actually respecting this level here that we've used multiple times as support with a bottomed out stochastic RSI. So if gaming makes a comeback, Mavia is going to pump crazy. The market cap's actually even smaller than what it says here. The market cap's $10 million. So going to 100 million, which isn't even a high market cap, is a 10x. Going to 200 million is a 20x. So I think it's possible to do those types of gains, maybe even more if we get a gaming run. But it's just one to have on your radar if risk comes back into the markets. Because think about it. You got all these people in crypto who are used to these old sectors. People who were in last bull run. They still remember gaming. I was talking to a taxi driver the other day in the US, and he only knew a handful of projects. He knew Pepe, he knew Bitcoin, he knew Dogecoin, and he knew Sandbox. And Axie. He mentioned Axie Infinity as well and how people were playing it that he knew. So, you know, those are the things that old retail investors remember. And if they make a comeback, they're going to start buying up the gaming coins. They're going to start buying up the meme coins. So those are my thoughts on base, guys. Make sure to check out my VIP group if you're interested in my real-time buy and sell alerts. Like I said on this video alone, I've got a great track record. You've seen multiple of these coins. I called early, and there's proof of it. You can watch my previous videos. Great track record. And if you join the group, you access a group that's open 24/7. People are talking in there. There's voice chats. It's a great place to be. And make sure to get on Blowfin, use the link down below, get that sign-up bonus, and claim the money that you can get to start trading. It's going to come time soon where we need to start shorting some of these coins. Not yet, but I want people to be prepared and familiar with how to short coins, particularly Bitcoin, because when Bitcoin hits 130, 127, something like that, that fib pocket, maybe the top is in. And if the top's in, you want to think about making money on the way down as well. You don't just want to make money on the way up. You want to make money on the way down, and you can do so with shorting. You don't even need to use a ton of leverage. You can just do 2x, 3x, whatever, you fancy. But that wraps up for the video. Hit a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye. All right, back with the stream. No, it's not the end of the stream. I am ending it soon, but that is not the end of the stream because I recorded a video while I'm live. That's what that was. Yeah, I moved to Dubai. It's tax-free. And I would say I prefer the weather, but in summer I don't. I'm not from the US. I'm from the UK. People sometimes think I'm from the US, though. I talk to Americans all the time, and I work with Americans, so starting to adopt a little bit of the lingo, maybe, unfortunately. But I love Americans, but I want to remain British, you know? Do you believe in the 4-year cycle? Yeah, I believe in it somewhat, but I don't necessarily think it predicts the exact day of the top. You know, I think we could top out in September, potentially, like get a quick run up in September, and that could be the top. But the 4-year cycle says we have to top in October based on the date range trend. So I don't believe in it to the T, but I do generally believe in it because it's facts. You know, you can't deny black and white evidence. UK inflation came in hot. Yeah, the UK's got high inflation. That's not gonna impact markets. We already know about that. It's been high for a while. They got slow growth, high inflation. The UK's economy is not the greatest. Fed official says with data now, wouldn't see a case for a September cut. Things just change so quick in markets. That's why you can't just have these presuppositions all the time. You got to adjust, you know, like if we don't get a cut in September and then we get a cut in October, maybe October is the top. You know, I am willing to budge. Like I'm willing to be open to new ideas. I still think we will get a cut in September, but if we don't and we get disappointed with that, then maybe it does get kicked, you know, down to October. It's possible, but that's why to me the levels are more important than the date times. You know, the time frames are important, but the levels on the chart are way more important. It doesn't matter when it happens. You know, it matters on the levels. The level could get hit tomorrow or it could get hit in 6 months. It doesn't matter when. You know, like the Gaussian channel, for example. If we close the week in the Gaussian channel, that starts a bear market. Okay. But it doesn't matter when that happens. The bear market, because everyone always wants to know when. Archie, when's the bear market going to start? When's it going to start? And I have my theories, I have my ideas, but I don't know for exact. I'm just speculating like everyone else, you know, maybe to a better degree, but we're all speculators. People keep asking me, when's the bear market going to start? It will start when we close in the Gaussian channel on the weekly. That's when it will start. Or maybe that's not when, right? That's how it will start. The date, I can't give you. I don't know when it will start. It could start in a month. It could start at the end of Q4. It could start mid-2026. Either way, I've got my level, which I know to look at to invalidate the bull run. So it doesn't matter when it starts. It matters when the Gaussian channel gets broke down. But anyway, guys, appreciate you all being here. I'm going to wrap up the stream here. Appreciate you all tuning in today. As always, get in the VIP group if you want to join a 24/7 active community, which never sleeps. We were in the voice chat last night for about 4 or 5 hours, talking about the markets, talking about trading, talking about the bear market strategy, talking about the next leg up, talking about Ethereum's next move, all that stuff. So make sure to join the group if you want to get the alpha and if you want to see my real-time buy and sell alerts. Just dropped a buy alert actually on a meme coin, which let me pull it up on deck screener. As soon as I called it, like a day after or whatever, it started pumping. So usually we have a very good hit rate. But yeah, I called a meme coin in the VIP as a buy alert. Let's see. Okay, it's come back down a little bit here, but I called this one and it was up 60% yesterday. 66% it was up yesterday. I think this is going to be a good play. But this is my latest call. And some of the members are up 60% yesterday on the buy. I mean, not from my buy. My buy was a little bit higher. But people who bought yesterday were up 66%. So check out the VIP for alerts with great success percentages. I don't know the percentage ratio that were successful, but I guess it's somewhere around 90%. I'll join the VIP for a year soon. Yeah, definitely do that and use the code at checkout ETH and you'll save yourself some money. That code will be going once Ethereum breaks all-time highs. I'll be getting rid of the code. So make sure to use it while you can. And I forgot to mention, book a free call, absolutely free of charge, with my right-hand man, very knowledgeable guy, very kind guy as well. He'll help you out a lot. He'll help you out more than what you think, more than necessary. He goes above and beyond what is required. You can book a call with him in the description. You can see that second part of the description. Click that link and you can book a call with him. He'll look over your portfolio and set up an exit strategy with you. And then sign up to Blowfin as well. Just hit all the links in the description. Just go in the description and smash them all. Anyway, appreciate you watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.